The first round of the 3-round Mel Kiper and Todd McShay combo NFL mock draft is already out on our channel. I'll link it in the comment section, the descriptions too, of course. If you haven't already, go check it out. And if you aren't already, make sure you guys are subscribed with noties turned on so you don't miss out on anything. The Jonathan Mingo hype continues to be real. Which is, I got other, there's very few big receivers, but I think that pushes up Mingo too high there. B.J. Ojulari makes a lot of sense for Green Bay. Love that pick. Tyrique Stevenson had some size at corner, so that's a fit for the Patriots. Keely Ringo, remember the Commanders went Darnell right in round 1. Getting Ringo in round 2, gamble, but it's a worthwhile one there. Everyone just gives all the good players to the Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs at 48. He's going to be a top 30 player for me. Dillon in round 1. Round 2? Sure. Maybe move on from DeAndre Swift later. That's fine. Anton Harrison here to the Steelers. You want a better and more athletic left tackle. There you go. Now, DeJuan Jones is a massive human. He would... I think what you would have to do, and it was kind of implied by, this was a McShay pick, keep DeJuan Jones at right tackle, Tristan Wirfs at left tackle. The ESPN boys love Brenton Strange, which it's too early for me, but hey, where's Sam Laporta? Take him instead. Whatever. Jaden Reed out of Michigan State to the Seattle Seahawks. It's a little early for me, Todd, but adding a number 3 receiver does make sense. Mozzie Smith is a nose guard. It fits the Bears' defensive line, although I might actually flip Mozzie and Keanu Benton for the play styles, but both teams are looking for some run stopping, so it makes sense. The Lions now get Drew Sanders. So the Lions get 4 guys who have been mocked in round 1 somewhat frequently. Okay. We're just rigging it for Detroit, I guess. Riley Moss to the Jags. Actually, don't mind that one. He's a good size, great athlete at corner. Checks off that box there. Can we play safe? I'm going to play him at corner. John Michael Schmitz to the Giants is a sprint to the podium selection. That is an awesome outcome for New York. Dallas gets a tight end in Sam Laporta, who I think is a top 5 easy tight end in this year's class. Love the Josh Downs fit in Buffalo, so great job there, Mel. Matthew Bergeron to the Bengals. Right tackle option. Give him a year to maybe if you keep Jonah Williams or you trade him, whatever. That's a good fit. Derek Hall, you need pass rush help. Hall can fill it in for Chicago. Don't like Zach Pickens at 62. A 5-star recruit, but never played like it. That raises some red flags there. Mel Kiper continues to go with his last 2-round mock draft, just making the same pick again. That's Marvin Mims there to Oklahoma. Before we get to round 3, shout out your favorite NFL team in the comments section. Who is it? Go have a little war in there for me. Sound off right now. I love these first 3 picks. Cam Smith from South Carolina. He should go in the second at minimum. I think that's a great fit for the Bears. Not the biggest need at corner, but let's do it. Awesome. Jack Campbell. The Texans have 18 inside linebackers, but one of them is good. So Campbell in the 3rd. Love it. Cedric Tillman is my, you're looking for the X receiver, that big body possession receiver. I'm taking him before I take Jonathan Mingo. Before I take some of the other receivers in this year's class who fit that bigger body mold. Jaden Reed's kind of more of a speedy guy, so it's fine there. But before Mingo, give me Tillman. That's kind of a no-brainer there. Byron Young, the Tennessee version, by the way, is an edge rusher. Denver loves those guys. He's fast. He's just 25 years old. Tajay Spears, back-to-back Denver picks here since sure Javonte Williams is going to be healthy. Now, McShay said this is Denver's new 3rd down back, which is literally why they signed Samaje Perine. But Williams is going to be banged up. Jartavius Martin, a.k.a. Quan Martin out of Illinois. Safety to the Rams. Replace Nick Scott. Let's ride. I love what the Raiders got. Tucker Kraft out of South Dakota State. I think over Brenton Strange, too, by the way. Got banged up this year, but he was really good for a smaller division school. A.T. Perry, another big body receiver. I like him more than Jonathan Mingo. It might be a hot take from me. Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Michael Thomas. You can add A.T. Perry as a maybe potential Michael Thomas replacement down the road. Cody Mauch goes to Tennessee. Now, I know Tennessee fans got burned by Dylan Radins. It happens. But if I will say this on Cody Mauch, if I were to give you a lineup and said there is one North Dakota State offensive lineman, and I just had headshots of 50 different players, every single one of you would say, that's him. And it is. And he got his teeth knocked out in 7th grade and will not replace them until after he's done playing football because he's a football guy, baby. Jacalyn Roy out of Houston. I actually don't know if DT's a huge need for Houston, but hey, let's get some players. You got picks, whatever. Gervon Dexter out of Florida to the Browns here, their first pick. Run-stopping DT. They need it. Yasir Abdullah. I don't mind that one. Both Louisville guys, who we'll get to the Yaya Diaby here in a little bit, but Abdullah is a undersized but athletic edge. Fits what the Falcons like to do. Rashee Rice in the third, I am much more comfortable with. He's a big possession receiver. Shows some flashes, but it's still a bit inconsistent. It was all volume stuff there. Like that pick for New England. Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA stays in LA. And a lot of rhymes there, I guess. To the Rams, great value there. Michael Wilson, tell you what, he does kind of just scream he's a Packer with what they typically like. That just ends up being big body, special teams value, X receivers. They love those players, so that makes sense to me. I love getting Darius Rush here at 79 for Indy. You trade away Stephon Gilmore. We'll take some time for Rush. There's a future starter. The Steelers get Dan Henley out of Washington State. He could go top 50 this year. That's a great pick for Pittsburgh. Lions get a tight end I like in Luke Schoonmaker, continuing their run of just crushing every mock draft I see that goes multiple rounds. Sidney Brown out of Illinois. There are not many free safeties, or these guys have the speed to play free safety. Here's one of them. Garrett Wilson, who's a bit undersized. He's only about 5'10". And there's some change there, but he was listed at 6 foot by Syracuse. I love when schools lie to us. Williams at 83, no complaints there. Love Isaiah Foskey at 84. That could be legitimately 25 picks, a full round even. Too late for where he ends up going. Devon Achane to the Chargers. Let's ride. There's some speed. Kellen Moore finds his new Tony Pollard there. I am a huge fan of Tyler Scott. I'm higher than him on most people. Love him in Baltimore. There's a player who will help out Lamar Jackson. I think it's still going to be Lamar. Colby Wooden. Kybris is a 3 technique. He's like 270 and change, so I think 5 technique, and that still fits for Minnesota. Makes a lot more sense. Now, how many rounds of the NFL draft will you watch? I assume on Chat Sports, by the way. Is it all 7? We'll be live for all 7. Sound off in the comment section. Jags take Zach Harrison. Great athlete, but never really produced. I think he just might not ever, but he's worth the gamble just inside the top 100. Tank down to the Giants because the Giants only want small receivers, but he's a fun athlete. Dallas does like Kendry Miller, by the way, out of TCU. Might be a bit early for him to be the 5th, I think it is. The 5th back off the board, but Dallas likes him. This could be about the right range. Love Antonio Johnson. I think Mel wrote that he was shocked Johnson was still there and was like, Todd, what are you doing? I agree. I might take him in the 5th, in this 2nd round pretty easily. More safeties. Jair Brown from Penn State. Great instincts, great recognition skills. Did not test well. So it's one of those, he's got range because he knows where the ball is going, not because he's fast. Scares me a little bit. Andre Carter he's tough. He's a tough eval. Did not test well. Big guy. He might need 2 years because, Army does not train you to play football. They train you to be a service member in some capacity. So, he's just not in, NFL training regimens or even college football. It's like high school stuff, basically, from that perspective, which makes him a really tough eval. Blake Freeland tested great. Power issues, though, but hey, O-line is always good. Tyler Steen could play guard or tackle, I think, in the NFL, so there's some position flex there. Everyone likes Roschon Johnson. Low volume, not a burner, but he's a power runner stuck behind the top 10 pick in this mock draft in Bijan Robinson, so I think that makes sense for Arizona because they need more back help. Zach Kuntz, yes, Kuntz, don't be dirty. Old Dominion, absolute freak athlete, but it didn't even dominate Old Dominion that much. So it's a matter of the upside is sky high. The current version is he needs some work. Henry To'oTo'o out of Alabama to the Browns because I'd be a little surprised if they went linebacker again this year, but I'll make note of that. Joey Fisher out of Shepherd. Yeah, Shepherd University. This is insanely early for me. I do think Fisher gets drafted, but top 100 is hot take. It just kind of sounds like Kiper was like, I know who he is, so I'm going to put him in here. More Niners picks coming up, by the way. Tavius Robinson out of Ole Miss is an edge pick there for the Raiders. I've got some better edges on the board. It's a little weird to see Robinson go quite this early. There is upside, of course, still have to be untapped, but 6 sacks this year, 10.5 in his career. It's just like, is that what you want to pick 100? I don't know. Yaya Diaby played out of position in Louisville, hence his not-so-great production, but I think you've let him be a pure defensive end. He's going to have a lot more success, so I love that pick. And one of the funnest players in this year's class, Travius Hodgins-Tomlinson. He's very small. He is undersized, but he makes plays in the football. So honestly, I think of the picks, I think the THT pick was the best one by the 49ers in that little run they have at the end of the third round in this year's draft.